my head, Sherry said. What happened last night? Sherry woke up dizzy, not only remembering. What he didn't know is that last night he had about the greatest adventure of his life. He drank apple juice. But it wasn't no ordinary apple juice. It had roofies in it. But this story all started with a dream to go on a road trip from Maine to California. It was on a summer, and Sherry was feeling adventurous, so he planned a road trip with his friend Dave and himself. He liked Dave. Whenever Sherry was around, Dave got this tingly feeling in his neck. That it made him crave cold pizza. Dave and Sherry had been friends for quite a while, and Sherry loved him the whole entire time. Sherry loved the way Dave's fur felt. And Dave had no idea why Sherry always acted weird and loving around him. He just thought Sherry was always happy. But Dave did find it puzzling that whenever Sherry stood behind him, he felt something stick into his back. He thought nothing of it until one day he turned around and he saw Sherry holding his hockey stick. He was late for practice and he was just pushing Dave along. Dave breathed a sigh of relief because he thought it was something way else. So they practiced their stuff and hit the road. And an hour into the trip, they realized they had gone the wrong way. "Don't you think where we're going is the wrong way?" Dave asked. "Well, for you it is." Sherry was taking Dave to a whorehouse so Sherry could make sweet forced sexy time on Dave. When they got there, Sherry put a blindfold on Dave and stole a basket for some awkward reason, and yet started his sexy time. Dave yelled, "You're the person that I'd love to spend the rest of my life with. I love you." As you can tell, Sherry was very surprised, but Dave felt the same way. The sexy time wasn't so forced after then. And they did it until the break of dawn. At dawn, they got in the car and slowly made their way to Pennsylvania and stopped at the Holiday Inn. 4 hours later, "Oh my gosh! Harder! Squish the bug!" "I'm trying," Dave said. He finally killed the poor innocent bug. They got back on the road. Soon later, as they were driving, there happened to be a weird, awkward silence between them. They both knew what was going on, but neither wanted to accept it. They both had to poop really bad. So they pulled over, went in, and then hit the road. Then they crashed into a llama? It turns out Derek had been at the same rest stop. They didn't know each other, so they drew a dog and took off. Derek was confused at why they drew a dog, but he pranced along the road. Back to the car, Sherry and Dave felt relieved that they had let out their feelings. Geez, were those feelings smelly. As they were driving, Sherry turned on the radio and it played "Waiting for Tonight." Oh. When you would be here in my arms, waiting for tonight. I've dreamed of this life for so long, waiting for tonight. Then Dave had something to confess. He had herpes. Sherry screamed, "No! What kind?" The only kind there is," Dave said. Sherry was kind of sad that he had heard this, because now that would mean that he had herpes. But they decided to carry on, so they went into Food Town for grapes. Sherry went around the grape section and found the ones that were cheapest. Meanwhile, Dave was looking at Frosted Flakes. Dave had a little OCD problem, so he went through every single box of cereal trying to find one that was not dented. Luckily, there was canned fruit in the aisle also. After Sherry picked out the grapes, he went down to the condom aisle and picked out the family pack. They went to the counter and set all their stuff down on the movie thing. Okay. They put it on the belt. That's what the word was, belt. They put it back on. They put all the items on the belt, which was weird because they had canned fruit, Frosted Flakes, condoms, and grapes. Oh, and whipped cream. The woman at the register looks at them a little weird because it's both two guys and such weird items. But she figured that she's seen weirder, so she just packed up their bags and items and let them leave the store. So, once they got to the parking lot, they put everything in. Well, Sherry packed the car with all their groceries and turned around, and Dave wasn't anywhere to be found. He started freaking out. Oh my god, where's Dave? And he was driving around the parking lot hoping he could find him. And all of a sudden, he's just looking down to find a CD, and all of a sudden something runs across the road and he hits it. And he goes out of the car, and it's Dave. To be continued.